Each week, Val and Amber make royal predictions and track breaking news headlines. October 18th.
Who is telling who to get out?
Within days, protesters hold signs demanding the new Prime Minister to get out. In other news, a Mercury in Scorpio clue.
It seems like this is going to be pretty big, a certain type of investment that completely fails.
And I have two kings. So when you said that, I was like, oh, here he is with another.
1 week later, reports describing two kings. November 1st, a good news prediction.
Jupiter can represent teachers. Some benefits maybe are coming.
It is for the groups. 3 of Cups. It's for lots of people, and it could circulate around women.
1 day later, a maternity leave announcement for teachers.
Welcome, everyone. I'm Astrologer Val Evans. Thanks for watching. We are talking about a special topic for this week, and it was something that I saw in the last show, so I thought it was worth a bonus show, and something I might start doing on Mondays just to see what you guys think of the week, how it's going. But this week seems to be a special week, and also subsequent weeks in the next few going into December. So I want to take a look to see what is in store, because it looks like a big shakeup in a multitude of different themes. Thank you for taking time out of your day to discuss the shock scheme that I see is really close. And why do I see that? Well, we were looking at the week chart starting on Sunday at 12 midnight. And when we were reviewing it on Friday, we were seeing that moon in Aquarius. There's going to be a shock to the public. The way that I describe these shocks sometimes is like, have you ever been to like a restaurant? And hopefully you haven't, when you saw something in your food that shouldn't be there and you are in absolute shock at first. Like you just stare at it like, what? And then it goes from shock to, oh, somebody's going to pay. And it turns to revenge. It turns to that scorpionic type of energy. So that may be on the plate this week. Let me see this. Janet, you said, Val, did you see where King Charles is hosting the King of Bahrain? Could that be the two kings Amber pulled a few weeks ago? I know it's funny that you mentioned that, because I'm going to be talking about twins some more. I'm going to go over just a couple of the headlines that have come out already. We're talking about somebody well-known, somebody in college, and then also somebody else came out in the news that was in college. And I'm going to talk about that in the next show, and keep an eye out for some shorts. So I've got some follow-ups, confirmation shorts. But then I was also talking about a woman who looked very sad. And so here we have Sunday, Princess Catherine coming out in the Remembrance Day. And a lot of people being not very nice to her when these pictures came out. But she looks extremely sad. And you know what? Frankly, tired. That's what Saturn can do to you. It's emotionally and physically draining with what she's going through. But this was the big one when we were talking about explosions. And right off the bat on Sunday, we saw this image. Now, I'm not saying that this is the only thing that we're going to see this week. We're going to see more pictures like this, I think. This is the week of November 10th we were talking about. I'm going to go over this in a little bit, but we were seeing Tuesday here. There's Scorpio. So Scorpio represents, taxes, can represent a sex strike. In Scorpio, the sex, Uranus means a strike, which we're already hearing about because of certain people winning elections and not, women want to feel empowered right now. So this is potentially what is in the mix. We're talking about revenge, betrayals. And funny enough, with I was talking about food, something in your food. Well, that's Taurus. So there could be things about food, could also be because Scorpio means like the subway, it means the basement, it means places that are low. And so that might be coming into the theme. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that in a second, but that's what we were really looking at on Friday was that explosion. I'm going to give you a little story first, and this is about me. This is one of my solar return charts, and I felt like even looking at this just gives me the chills. Okay, you can almost see me. I'm going like this. That's me. It's got an old computer, so it's from a while ago. Virgo ran my chart that year. And so you would look and see where Mercury is. So we're going to talk about that in a second. But look at how much Aquarius is in there. And Aquarius was in my 6th house of work. So at the time, there were a lot of people who were shaken up at my job because there was a new CEO that came in. Everybody was like, I'm out of here because he was a real bully. But you could see this big T square. He certainly did not like me, which was in that. You can see that red triangle there. One of the things that happened in that year was, if you were to see a solar return that looked like this, and you would see Saturn conjunct Algol, which means losing your head, and then it is right on the MC. It's kind of weird because Saturn means fear. It means death. And it's like, death of career? Like how would you translate that? Now, the MC also means out in the open. So it would definitely manifest for me that I would be very, very scared when I was out in the open. And I would have no idea because I was fine when I started this chart. So this would show, the devil in the sky. And next to Jupiter, that is Jupiter and Gemini. Gemini is the twin, so it would be a group out in the open. So a fearful, maybe darker, devilish group. So it's like, okay, well, look, I am like this little editor at a nonprofit. So how is that going to work? You try to figure that out. There is my boss here. The sun is your boss for that year, and you're going to see how it plays out. And this guy was a real jerk. He was the devil. And so he came in around these months here. At the time, I was a writer. So that makes sense that Virgo represents writer because Mercury rules it. And unfortunately, poor little me, Mercury is in retrograde that year. I think I have an explanation for it. There's Mercury. Mercury is ruling my chart. I wonder if you guys have already figured this out. Places that are, London Underground, something that's low, But what I'm trying to get at here is there's something that affected me that really did not hurt me, but it was definitely around me. And so what was really funny in my little editorial career was that I think I still might have it somewhere, but it was an edition of the nonprofit newsletter, and it said something like when disaster strikes. And I swear to God, I get chills thinking about it. The picture was of rubble. Ugh. And it was a couple of months before everything would happen. Now I lived and worked within a mile or two of the Pentagon. So you are getting where I'm going with this. What's really interesting is in your solar return chart, if you have a very nice aspect to Aquarius or Uranus, this is to see the future. So Mercury was in Aquarius, showing that my writing, whatever I was writing, would be prophetic in a sense. And also, the other thing too, I'm talking about September 11th, Neptune is in Aquarius as well. So I had woken up the night before, and I understand that a lot of people did as well. And I had dreams of planes on fire, and I woke up screaming. It's the only time in my life I'd ever done that. So Neptune can mean to dream, like a prophetic dream. And what's so weird is that it would also show the future for me. I would be talking about a disaster, I'd be talking about it in the future, like on YouTube, which would be Gemini, all on YouTube. So when you have a stellium, as an example, what the point I'm trying to get to is this is very strong, very shocking, prophetic. You're able to see the future. It just depends if you have a red line or if you have a blue line. And in this case, I had quite a bit of both. You can see the blue lines here. It's a nice mini grand trine. And by the way, Mercury, what had happened was when the planes hit, which was pretty much next door to my building, what did I do? I went backwards. I went backwards to my home. I returned home, and I did it right away, where nobody even knew where I was. So this is going to show you that something pretty big is going to happen. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to happen directly to you, but for me, it was pretty close. That would give an example of the fear. And I never knew what PTSD was. Every time a plane would go over, I would be scared that year. So that would show, fear of the sky, really. So let's get back to the UK, which I know a lot of people are wondering about. Thank you, Jan. I know. I get excited for people when I see a trine to Uranus or Aquarius because I'm like, wow, this is going to be something that is futuristic, visionary, prophetic. You're going to be doing something potentially prophetic that year. It's not just me. Lots of problems for William following attacks on his homeless documentary, followed by Times, Channel 4 documentary, The King, The Prince, and Their Secret Millions. Yes, you're really trying to do something good, but in the meantime, something else is backfiring on you at the same time. So it's like you're not able to get into gear because of things that are pulling you aside, maybe some things that you've done yourself. Okay, Angel, I need to go back and check my chart for when my boss sold her business along with all of us as part of the deal and didn't tell us anything about it. Oh my God, that's worth a show right there, Angel. Okay, thanks, Steph. Well, there were a lot of people that year that were a lot worse off than I was. So I would call that a lucky chart, definitely. Yes, bad press for royals today. Ari Cup 29, I know. Toy, thanks, it sucks so bad. I traveled all the time, and that day ended it for me. I wish I could get over it, but I just can't. Wow, Toy, I did not realize that. I just wanted to show you, all those red lines in the middle there? This is the progressed chart for the UK. And this is like right now. The moon is conjuncting North Node. Now, let me tell you something, a little bit about the North Node. This is usually like a expansion of something. And you are watching something that is a big problem here. Now, I think this could be a couple of things. We've got a woman here in the middle of all this, but we also have money. This is finances. And Amber and I have been talking about it over the past few months. I don't know, maybe since February or March. But this is a big scandal. And it is a financial scandal. Why is it such a financial scandal? Well, the moon here is the public. Uranus is a big shock. And this is for all. Here we are, this stellium here, opposing Neptune. Now, so what is this going to be? This is going to be obviously financial fraud, but this could also be oil. All right, there's an oil, it could be a conspiracy. It could be something that has to do, I'm afraid to say it, Libra is politics. So we've got politics involved here. We've got also Black Moon Lilith here. Not too bad at the moment, but the worst thing is all the lies. And that's Neptune. Neptune is lying, narcissist, basically fraud. So you get my point. This is happening right now, but it's not necessarily the only thing that's happening, because Uranus can show things that are very, very shocking. The 11th house is all pointed up towards Aries. So whatever it is, everybody's very, very angry. Also notice that the Lord of this chart is Mercury. So Mercury rules the UK progress chart right now, and it is retrograde. It is going to be like that for another, 4 or 5 years, I think. It's in there for a while as retrogrades. Not the best, but that's what happens to to all of us. Our progressed planets are they're going to go to retrograde status, and sometimes they're going to come out of retrograde. Suddenly you're like, God, I live such a better life now. My homes are much better. It's because the fourth house lord came out of retrograde, probably. This is an example here. Bernie Madoff. Is a great profile of something that would be like a Madoff. And we talked about Madoff before. This is a Madoff profile. And what was interesting about Madoff is he exemplified a lot of Scorpio, which is investments, which we've been getting. This is that sun in Scorpio, investments, fraudulent investments, Ponzi schemes. I don't know. Do you remember how in the Bernie Madoff documentary, they talked about Sonia Cohn, and she was his twin, but she was over in Europe. Everybody called after it was all said and done. She helped him allegedly pull off his fraud. And so she was called the evil twin. He never would have been able to do it without her. So we're getting that twin energy again. So we're going to talk a little bit about Kate for a second and how everybody's coming down on her, especially that royal journalist. Did you see that? She is being criticized by this one person of, an overblown diagnosis when basically she had precancerous cells and they made a big deal out of it, allegedly. Talk about, I know, Madoff, it's amazing. Like, you really have to pay attention to people's names. And if you have a name that you're like, oh God, this is horrible, guess what? You can change it. Your likes, guys, have really been helping lately. So I really appreciate it. And that's all because Angel is reminding me. So thank you, Angel. Angel, about your job. She was a nasty piece of work, but I'm still shocked she did that to us. Ruthless businesswoman. And when you see that's such a great word, ruthless. That is Black Moon Lilith. November 11th, transit for Princess Catherine. This is today, and I want to show you something about her health that I believe. When you are looking at your chart, you want to look at the 6th house, Lord. And for her, it is Saturn. So that's going to be there. And Saturn's up here. And Saturn is, at the moment, transit Saturn. Her Saturn also is down here, which is opposing Chiron, by the way. So both of her Saturns, the transit Saturn and natal Saturn, they are in a bad place right now. But one is squaring Black Moon Lilith in Sagittarius with, look how there's Mercury right here. This is a writer. This is a journalist. This is a journalist that, I don't know, maybe doing something that she shouldn't be doing according to the public. So there you go. She's having to deal with that. But also, Black Moon Lilith can mean disease. And there could be some problems, obviously, with her health. Another indicator that there are health issues is Pluto's going through her 6th house. And this can be very, very tough. It is going to be quite a change in the coming months, though, for her health as Pluto moves into Aquarius. It is out of a long period. And I think she's going to feel a little bit better. I really do. I think a lot of people are going to feel better. So that's what I saw there. She's got her health planet squaring Black Moon Lilith at the moment. So give it another month or so and she'll be feeling a little bit better. And that journalist will go away. The solar chart for Princess Catherine. And where is she right now? If you're just joining this channel and you don't know how we do this, you take your solar return chart and you use every house like a month. And so you would start on your birthday. So January 9th would start her ascendant, then February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September. This is November 9th. And now the sun is in Capricorn. It looks tough. Why? Because the sun is at the apex of this T-square here. Boom. When you're in a square and your sun or any planet happens to be in Capricorn, this is wearing black. Wearing black, feeling bad, feeling down, feeling tired, thinking about death, talking to people who are talking about death. It's really depressing. So you can see that basically just activated. we're wondering who this was. We've wondered that for a while. We think it's a worker, somebody who's probably doing something that stops what she's trying to do. Sometimes it can just be your health because it's Virgo. It's just your health again. You need to take some time. And she shouldn't be doing too much. But let's see if we can find any clue about what could happen this week, because we've got Moon in Aquarius. That's really why I wanted to look at her solar return chart. So if we have this house as November 9th to December 9th, the sun is going to come in here. Now, keep in mind, this is going to be my lesson for today. When we're looking at the solar returns, we look at the month and we look at the Lord. That's like the main thing, right? But sometimes it's easy to forget that the Lord will change in the middle of the month. So it's going to go from the sun to Mercury, back to Mercury, right next to the moon again. So the famous writer is going to come back in. She's going to be having to deal with some nasty writers right now. And keeping in mind, this is like the second one. This is the second one that's coming in. Hold on. So let me look at some of the comments, and then we're going to get into the predictions for this week. Yeah, he looks very, very gaunt. I think it's drugs. I really do. There's something that that is affecting him. Could be pharmaceuticals. I don't know, but we've got a hard Neptune transit with him, which we'll talk about. It's funny that you guys are talking about a beard, because I'm seeing a lot of people with that devil beard right now, which you're going to get with the end of Taurus. Taurus is, Algol right there. And you're seeing a lot of men looking like the devil. It's like, ugh. Okay. Oh my God, Patsy. My daughter was in Cambridge last week and was nearly run over by Edward's motorcade. Got to step aside for those royals. I hope she's okay. Prednisone makes you, we were talking about what drug is William on? There's something that's causing him to be skinny. And it could be something he's treating. I don't know. Eleanor, you said, I just had a notification from X saying the Archbishop of Canterbury has cleared his diary for tomorrow. What do you think that means? Nora says, I just saw news that the Queen said she was glad Boris wasn't organizing the funeral. Yeah, I know. Some people say Ozempic. You get very skinny with painkillers. But we were talking about how he might have hurt his ankle or something this year. So he might have had some kind of pain. There you go. Archbishop, huge child scandal. The church. We're talking about the church on Friday. Whoa. We've been talking about the church for a while. And that Neptune comes in, no boundaries. So no boundaries with children. Inga, you said, did you see Harry? He looks so angry. I did not. Oh my God, this is a huge scandal. Archbishop called to resign today about essay of children. He refused to resign, but the evidence is mounting of cover-up. Oh my God. Yeah, maybe he's going to leave his position. Wow. Hey, Amber. Joined just in time to see something about Archbishop. I know. Harry always looks angry. I met him. I was like, whoa, what? Really? You met Prince Harry? I don't believe it. Don't believe it. He's such a sweetie. All right. But I love William too. So don't unsubscribe. Sometimes I'll say stuff and that's an immediate unsubscribe because, I've said something either pro William or pro Harry. And this is all about astrology, so remember that. He should resign, tired of hearing about the church covering for pedos. Here, I'm talking about Princess Catherine, and she is going from the sun to Virgo. Let me see what day that could be. We're talking about this month. This is November. This starts November 9th, and the sun is here. It's in the 4th house. This is very, very serious here. And I think you could probably put the Sun and Pluto together. This is a lot of power, but it's in this T-square right there. We got Scorpio here, and that is something that is vengeful. That's more squaring Pluto, but it's right around her. Remember my September 11th chart? You can kind of see stuff is going on around her. I think the biggest thing is we've got Aries again. We've already seen that with people being very angry about, Keir Starmer. There have been lots of protests. This might activate something that has to do with the military. So, but this is not a good type of remembrance. This is something else. In fact, it's funny, those poppies represent Scorpio, but this is serious. So what is it? I think that it is the Sun squaring Aries. It's definitely the military. Military, police, and they're telling her to 4th house, stay home, lady. So she's going to be hiding out here in the home, and that's going to be at least between November 9th. I'm going to say to November 10th, probably till the 20th. So this would be the time frame when something is. I don't see anything like really explosive here, though, except for the fact that her Sun, which is ruling right now, it is trining Uranus. And she's able to make a big change, which is good. And she's able to do something. If she wants to change, she has support. That's usually what that blue line is. Not really seeing a lot of clues except that big T-square with Aries, which is a lot of potentially, this could be angry politicians, the 7th house. I don't know. We've got simultaneous scandals going on this week. I'm exhausted. Okay, so real quick, I wanted to talk to you about Giuliani because the 11th house, when it comes to big things that happen that are like strikes and all of that stuff, the 11th house is the community, it's social media, it's sending a lot of photos. And it's funny how you've got Aquarius, which is the future, and this would definitely show how much communication would happen. Even now, Instagram, whatever, seeing old photos of September 11th. So 11th is very, you can notice it, I think, in these politicians' charts when it comes to emergency services and rescuing and all of that stuff, because the community wants to talk about it. Lots of planets in the 11th house. And, Aquarius means planes as well, things that are up high. So we're seeing that with the chart this week. Go for it, Angel. Thank you so much. I know. Okay. Angel's protecting me. Oh, Archbishop protected rogue priests. Hey, 80, how are you? Yeah, I mean, absolutely depression, but there's something I noticed. I remember with the Friends actor, Matthew. I remember being in college and looking at his body as it changed, and I was like, something not right there. And it's kind of how I feel now. Not trying to say, there's any ketamine involved. Thank you, Janet. Janet says, you can live stream as long as you want. I love this beautiful community and all of your wonderful energy. Thank you. Oh, okay. It's pedo. I don't even. It's not, you guys get me in trouble. You always get me laughing at serious topics. Yeah, a lot of people say that, Patsy. I'm waiting for the day Keir Starmer leaves. I feel something is not right with William. Oh, this is good stuff, Jan. Camilla said to press William has been bullying her and her son Tom, hence the Christmas split. Oh, I knew something was behind it. I don't know exactly what, but I know it's the king's last Christmas, and you're going to announce basically in early fall or late summer that you're not going to have Christmas. No, there's extenuating circumstances that would lead people to make that decision. And some people would say, well, she's sick. But I don't know. I know, Toy. It's like we're hardened investigators who have strange senses of humor. Gotta laugh or crap will drive you crazy, for me anyway. Yeah. Camilla should keep that out of the press. I know. She uses the press. She definitely does. But she's just like Diana. Diana did the same. Oh my God, Taurus. It's funny how Taurus Moon Tarot, Amber, is telling us about a cookbook. Tom has a cookbook, right? Wonder if it's giving too much info. And Prince William doesn't like it. That's interesting. It's possible Taurus being the cookbook. So, all right, now let me move this because it looks strange. Okay, there's Giuliani on September 11th. This is his solar chart. I'm not going to go into the weeds with this, but I just wanted to show you that about the 11th house and how, he became a king that year. He was like, everybody was behind him. He could have run for president probably and, probably done well. But I wanted to show you this is his birthday here, and it was right here that was September 11th in his chart. And so it was going into Pluto or into Scorpio. And so where is Pluto? Pluto's here in this stellium. And we've got an opposition here. We've got Sag, which is a lot of foreign energy, foreign revenge, and a big group that looked a lot like each other. If you look at all of the suspects of September 11th, they have the same type of profile. So it's a group. And so anyway, that group would activate right at September 11th as his ruling planet for that month, went from Venus to Pluto. And trying to think, Sag is American, Sag is foreign, it is Netflix, it's the movies, so there'd be a lot of movies made about it. It's also institutions, churches, bridges, but also keeping in mind, Sagittarius, you can see that a lot when you're talking about very large things. And when Jupiter or Sagittarius is in the mix, that is a very large plane. So things that are large, that are twins, there are groups of planes. So Uranus also showing a plane. So this is high up, and there's a sextile to Sag, which is very, very large. Large planes, large revenge planes. Not that we want to dwell on this, but so you're seeing that. You're seeing how in the month, this is going to be September, but it wouldn't be until the 11th that this would activate. And so that's one thing I'm trying to keep in mind with these charts that we're looking at. There it is. All right, so Keir Starmer, solar chart. It says September 1st. I'm going to start with September 2nd as his birthday. 8 degrees. Like, we're talking some serious Scorpio, speaking of Scorpio. But it happens to be his rising sign for the solar return chart for 2024. So we're going to look at Pluto again. And what do we have here? November 2nd starts his third house, and it's right around now that Pluto is kicking in, and so is Aquarius. So we're going from Capricorn to Aquarius this week, in my opinion. So it's interesting because it's activating this big, grand trine. And so usually you would think, that looks pretty good. But we've got to look at Uranus next, because Uranus is going to start activating maybe this week. Now, we're talking about drones a lot in the news, so it makes me think of drones. There it is. So this can be data, anything Aquarius, lots of planes, can be drones, can mean a big change of some sort. I mean, Aquarius is change. So we would look for Uranus up here. Uranus is what is going to rule this month for him. Okay. And it's in Algol, 1 degree from Algol. And what's happening with Uranus? Squaring Leo, the king. So it's also power too. And at 22 degrees, not a great degree. So this is something that seems like a very famous yet big shock. And usually I'm trying to think how the church could be involved with this. Well, the moon is ruling the ninth house. So this could be something that has to do with ninth house matters, maybe a famous group of Leos, famous group of cats, and they're all getting zapped. Could be royals, could be twins of some sort. So I need to find out. I'm going to grab my cards. I'd like to know who this is, because they're about to get a big shock here. Hey, Zebra Girl, nice to see you. I know, Toy. Rudy is one of those figures that is typical of a rise and fall in life. It's very sad to see. Definitely. Jan, you said dreadful protests in New York today, calls for another election, and migrants protesting about mass deportation plans. Yeah. Toy, in Diana's defense, Diana was classy. I never liked Camilla, but it wasn't her fault either. Still don't like her, though. I know it's hard, because when we're dealing with astrology, it's one of those things where you try not to judge, because that was their purpose in life. That was their movie. You're going to be a villain sometimes, and you're going to be the hero. Even Diana was the villain some years. Yes, a good documentary, by the way. Very good. Jan, you said new political party reform said to be taking over Welsh Parliament at April 25th election. Labour has always held Welsh Parliament. This would be a kick in the teeth for Starmer. Yes, so a change, somehow changing the cats. Jan, you said Starmer's legal ruling to keep his sins secret. And also, Post today said Labour to lose power in Wales. Twins. The twin party to Labour in Wales, they vote together. Yep. And remember that before Labour won, and one of the clues that we got that they were going to was they had a twin strategy. Steph, you said, I also heard a scandal is or could be coming out regarding Starmer. That's possible. Genevieve, hello. Thank you for joining us. And yeah, Patsy, you heard the same. God. Camilla is the king's wife, and Archbishop gave approval. Another problem for the Archbishop. Oh boy. Yikes. Awkward. Oh, and interesting how Camilla is sick. I do believe she's sick. I do think she's sick. But let's find out what. Let me make this a little bit bigger. Oops. Okay. The twins, the twin Leos, like who's getting a shock? I mean, it looks like a power shock, and it looks like it might be out in the open, just like when we were looking at my solar return chart, and you could see that evil group out in the open during September 11th in 2001. This is kind of like the same thing. This is a group out in the open, and it is a shock. It's a shock. Leo is fire. Uranus is an explosion. So I think it would support the fact that there's something explosive coming up. Can you tell us a little bit, Spirit, what Mercury and Leo squaring Uranus is going to show? Whoa. Wow. The party is reversed. Isn't it interesting? The Four of Wands represents a party. I remember I got it when I was talking about the Super Bowl and winning the Super Bowl. This came up for whatever it was, the Chiefs. It's basically it could be a championship. It could be a festival. Ooh, guys, are there any festivals coming up this week? Something that would look like this? Because then because it's reversed here. So there's a celebration that, oh wow, Leo represents having fun. It's like a famous festival? Maybe we should look that up. I don't know if you would call it a festival, but Festival London? Or maybe it's a concert. Okay. Bob Dylan. Nobody's going to mess with Bob Dylan. Festival London. Let's see. November 12th. Could it be November 12th? You know when I think it's going to be? We're going to get to the chart in a second, but I think it's going to be, I think it's at the end of the week. I'll show you. Let me see here. Things to do this week in London. Oh, it looks so nice. I love Miracle at Henrietta Christmas Bar opens on Monday. Isn't that cute? Oh, I love it. UK Jewish Film Festival. Whoa. Various cinemas around London and beyond host events as part of the UK Jewish Film Festival, with online screenings taking place the following week. The festival spans genres including drama, comedy, and documentary, including a screening of autobiographical family drama, Once Upon a Time in Algeria, until November 17th. Okay. And the reason I say that is because Taurus is Jews, and also especially with the end of Taurus, you're talking about people who want revenge on the Jewish people. So I hope you could get that. What do you guys think? All right, there's Keir again. Yeah, it looks like a lot of stuff's happened this week with regard to news headlines. Yeah, I know. I hope they have good security. I know, me too, Toy. Honestly, I never thought I would be talking about politics in the UK. All I wanted to do was look at some charts and flip some cards. Now I know a little bit more about the Labour Party. So does Amber. We're glad you guys can tell us what's going on. Is there a celebration for King's birthday? Amber asks. That's a good question. Let's see. King's birthday, yeah. Celebration UK. Well, we already had the Trooping of the Color. That was before. But now his official birthday. Let's see if there's any news about it. Okay. There was a celebration on October 23rd. Okay. It's funny how King Charles, there's a headline. Why does King Charles have 2 birthdays? Twins, right? There's such twin energy with the kings. Okay. Jan, you said Queen was head of Church of England. Constitutionally, she could not attend wedding of the divorced future monarch if Camilla's husband was still alive. He died? Andy? I thought he was still alive. Or maybe I read that wrong. Yes, Toy, you said they have 2 birthdays because he's king. Makes sense. All right. Let me go back to my chart here. So we're talking about Keir Starmer, like pretty much this week. We've got Uranus squaring this group of cats. We might even see themes of cat, like remember with hurricanes. We see Katrina, we see the French Quarter. This could be French people too. There is also possibly, because the MC is government, this could be the French government because they just won elections that were democratic or they were more liberal leaning. So this could all be part of that too at the same time. But looks pretty famous, whatever it is, because the moon is there, and moon is fame. 21 would mean a Sagittarius degree, so Sagittarius, bridge, road, something big. So a large home, a palace with 2 something or other, twin palace, but there definitely is some kind of twin clue that we're seeing here. All right, and there's what Amber and I were seeing when we were talking about twins. This came up, but we've seen a lot more this year about King Charles and the twin themes, but this was a headline in Politico. King Charles and Keir Starmer, Britain's newest diplomatic double act. This is Camilla's chart, and you can see that right now she is right here. And, this is a bug. I mean, she could get sick with that Mars there. But then what happens here is Jupiter means your husband, and Jupiter is in Gemini this year. So a couple of things about her chart. This is her solar return chart. And this would be October 17th to November 17th. So definitely there's going to be some kind of, yet again, a confirmation for more twins. So what does this mean? I wonder. We should do a card, I think, on Camilla's solar return chart. I know. I'm not. Everybody wants to talk about the love child, and I'm just not interested. And when I'm not interested, it's usually because there's not enough evidence for me to be interested. It's usually like, remember when that woman came forward about Maddie McCann being the real kidnapped child and growing up? I was not interested in that at all. And there was a reason for it, I think. It wasn't her. So I don't know. I'd have to see more on that. Yeah, Eliphaz, Blood of Gemini. I know. She is looking well. Princess Anne was at Cenotaph yesterday. She looked very well. Did I say that right? Okay, yeah, that's what I thought, Jan. Camilla's husband is still alive. A monarch cannot marry if the new partner's ex is still alive. Got it. I understand what you're saying. I know, that's a good question. Is there still a cat living in front of 10 Downing? Is that a connection? Yes. Yes, it's an upset with a cat. I can't tell you how many songs I've been hearing about cats. Even the one about Trump singing, that's a whole song. It's not him singing, but it's sampling what he said about cats. Then there's that old Rasputin song that has been popular lately, and they sampled it. It's a 70s song, and they talk about cats. Oh, I didn't know that. Anne's first wedding was on Casey's birthday. I guess that's the only thing that they could do for the schedule. That's why he has two, in case that happens. No, there is not, Genevieve. There are 2 pets at Downing Street. Oh my God. Starmer got rid of Larry the cat. Oh, yep. Lungs ruled by Gemini. That's interesting. Yes. Also, they say Jupiter too, because the lungs are large, but it would make sense that it's Gemini because they're twins. Yep. Camilla has chest infection. Yeah. Camilla has long-term osteoporosis. She suffers in cold weather. I'm not sure. I want to see some news about Larry. Poor Larry. He's growing old, right? There are funeral plans for him. No, I mean, there's freaking funeral plans for everybody. And you know what? That's Capricorn. That's Saturn. It's like, oh, you've had it up to here with funeral plans, and people wearing black. It's just like you want to get out of that Capricorn energy for a little bit. Okay. So there is there is Gemini for Camilla's chart. And that's going to start on November 17th to December 17th. Nope. You know why? Because it's intercepted. Intercepted meaning it's going to start earlier than November 17th. And I just said that. So let me say it again. So funny, it's like right here, right in the middle. So October 17th, like this is this week that suddenly this gets activated. So maybe he'll be a clone. Maybe he'll have a twin. Maybe he'll have a body double. I don't know. I need to know. All right, so this is the final chart, and then I'll let you go. But we're going to do some cards with this one. But this is what I was looking at with Amber. This energy starts on Tuesday, it seems. Could be subway mayhem, could be things that have to do with pregnancy, a sex strike, could have to do with gangsters, Jimmy 2 times, Mikey, all the gangsters are being shocked about something on Tuesday, possibly. We've got Tuesday, yeah, and the sun too. This is something that is a real big secret. Also, it's Middle Eastern and Jewish type of shock. So this is some kind of, it's in the third house. The sun is in the third house of local. So there's so many clues that we could probably get from this with Scorpio. There's somebody with black hair that's involved. Could be a place where it's like the red light district. I doubt it though. I only say that because of Scorpio, but we're talking about taxes. We're talking about real estate, and something is about to really be shocking. But is that what we're talking about? Is Tuesday what we're talking about? Tuesday's a big one. Especially if people are taking off and resigning. But I think it's going to be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I think it's going to be Friday. So if you were going to take the day off, I would take Friday off. And Uranus is up here and it's activating, and it's going to square the moon, which is the public. It's in this big T square. And what could this be? What is going to happen if we're seeing the moon in Aquarius, which can mean drones, it can mean electricity, it can mean a shock to the Jewish people because of Uranus in Taurus. It can mean shocking statements that, we thought that we were mature and as a country, and people are talking about things they talked about back in the 40s. But the good news about it is that there isn't a node next to it, which would make it gigantic. It's still going to be shocking, but it doesn't have a node, which would be that horseshoe. So on Friday, what could possibly be happening where we're seeing moon in Aquarius? Oh, we got, let me see if you can see this. We've got the Ace of Cups. Okay, so maybe this is a place where there's a lot of money. Give us a clarifier card. What could possibly be happening on Friday? Sun reversed. That is, that's maybe something, that's fire, it's power, it's fire. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if there's something more about drones that are coming up. Lots of trouble happening in Amsterdam. There you go. Labor purchased new drones to patrol the channel for boatmen arriving. Yes, and there was just a bunch of migrants that were captured, I think, trying to cross the channel. Maybe a blackout. That's a possibility. Yeah, it is electricity. And it's a cut of some sort. So a cut of electricity. Could this be a blackout on Friday? King of Wands. I'd say that's a yes. So, so make sure you back up everything. Put it on a floppy disk. I know. Friday in the chart and Friday live show, how's that going to work? We're going to have to do our own planning. I'm not trying to make light of it, but, we're just looking at a chart at this point. I know. That was a good call, Amber. I think you're right. Jan, you said my electricity and internet keep blacking out just for minutes, but guess it might be a trial run. Confirmed with the power card. Yes. Inga, you said, I think a big attack and a power outage. Yes, charge everything, get batteries. We're not trying to cause fear, but we're just trying to observe what we're seeing. If our method of getting to the bottom of the day, the actual specific time if it's working. We're kind of like experimenting with it right now, but What I'm going to start doing though is instead of looking at just the house, I'm going to look at the axis. So, like for the third, and it'll be third and 10th that we look at, because that's going to give us the whole chart instead of just looking at half of it. Buy candles or chargeable candles. Well, just regular candles. And yeah. All right. So can we get any more information on what this is? This is just like an interruption of the public. I think there might be a couple of things. There might be, something that has to do with a lower level. Could be the basement, could be the subway, like we said. But what's the sixth house? That is Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. It's going to be Friday. 13, 14, 15. Friday the 15th. What is going to happen? I got this again. Ace of Wands. Lots of aces. What do you think that means? Somebody's got an ace? I don't know. We'll have to see. I know. Happy birthday, Angel. You're back. You think underground cables? What did you do? Angel, did you just go and just do something really quick? You threw your kid in the car. I know it's going to be full supermoon on Friday. It's a very powerful time to have a birthday, I'll tell you what. So we're going to have to see what happens with that. But yeah, so much with that Scorpio. I personally think it's going to be a sex strike because Uranus represents a strike and Scorpio represents sex. But at the same time, on the sixth house side on Friday, if that could be another strike, that could be a worker strike. And what are they striking? Because the last thing I heard with the workers is that they cut a deal. So something might be interrupted with the workday. So just take a 3-day weekend, go over to Scotland or something. What? Come on, Nora. Megan Fox is a big-time astrologer. She just announced she's pregnant. Between her and a great comment too, because that's a shocking pregnancy. That is a shocking, I'm not saying necessarily for her, but you are going to see in the news with Tom Brady's ex-wife, there are just women want revenge right now. Not saying that they do, but a great way to get revenge is to get pregnant. I mean, is that wrong? It's just a fact. So you're going to see shocking pregnancies right now. That's amazing. Third house is talking about revenge. Let's think about Scorpio for a second. That's definitely the mafia. It's real estate. It is some secrets are coming out, I'll tell you that. Secrets from the past, because the sun is trining Saturn. When you have a trine to Saturn, that is remembering something or it is going back to something. And in Pisces, that can mean using photos to get revenge. So these could be, what do you call those? Maybe revenge porn, some kind of revenge porn thing. Ugh, such terrible topics. If you're interested in getting a personal reading, you can go to astrologywithval.as.me. I've got classes coming up this weekend where you can actually ask me all about your birth chart. And so sign up. I've got Saturday and Sunday classes. And I also have destiny calendars on sale right now. So definitely check those out. It's a 12-month prediction, the highs and lows, the months that are going to be lucky, and some things that you want to maybe watch out for and plan for. So check that out. We were just talking about the week of November 10th, which started yesterday, and definitely also check out the show that I had with Amber. We've got a show every Friday at 4:30 Eastern, 9:30 British time, BST. And we're going to have another one on this Friday. So we're going to have to see what happened. Thank you, Nora. Yeah, that's a possibility. Epstein would be Taurus. Yeah, maybe photos. Leaked sex tapes. That's from Amber. Listen to that one. Yeah, they could totally leak. I like to see South Node with a leak. Oof, there's some leaks this week. There's some leaks. South Node is in the second house, and it's in a nice rectangular. So, yeah, we could see some revenge leaks. Yeah, did he? The reason I don't mention him is because I figure it's so obvious. Thanks, Jan. All right, guys. See you next time. I'll probably be on again tomorrow. So check the community tab. And thanks for hitting like and subscribing. See you tomorrow.